Hi guys, so today I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit of a few things that you can do at home that are sorting activities that we do in the classroom. These things are really simple. These are things that you can get at the Dollar Tree, or you can use just your silverware at home. I have a little silverware tray here, but you could actually just take these things that you make where you would just cut out a spoon, a fork, and you can color code them, you can not color code them, just depending on whatever works best for your kiddo. But sorting is something that's really simple, and most kids can do that if you practice with them repeatedly. So I'm going to show you the way that I would do it if I was in the classroom. So if I'm in the classroom, and I've only got 2 of each kind of silverware here, but if I'm in the classroom, as you can see here, I've got a spoon and a fork and a knife. And for different levels, you may need to do hand over hand, like I've showed you before, or you could just touch where you want them to put it, or you could just use verbal prompting where you would say, okay, where does the spoon go? Or if your kid's a little bit higher, you could even say, okay, I need you to sort all of this silverware, and have them do it on their own. So it just depends on their level of prompting that they need. So if I'm doing hand over hand, I'm going to physically take their hand and pick up the spoon. But when I'm doing that, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to put the spoon with the spoons, and I'm going to take their hand. I don't have a hand here to show you, but we're going to take their hand and we're going to move it over, and we're going to say spoon. The spoon goes with the other spoons. And then I'm going to do that for each piece of silverware and just go repeated practicing. You're just going to do it over and over and over. I would do it through 3 trials. And as they do it more, you can take away those prompts. Like if I'm doing hand over hand the first 2 days, the next day I might just try to say, pick the spoon up and put it where the spoon goes. And hopefully your kiddo is going to be able to just pick that spoon up and put it over here with the spoons. Okay, so if I'm just going to say, I'm just going to do a partial physical prompt, you can guide them by their elbow by just putting your elbow on and just lift up that fork and say, I'm going to put the forks with the fork. So I'm going to take their little elbow and just kind of guide their arm over and say, now the fork is with the other forks. Now, if I have a kiddo that can just do it with maybe just a little verbal prompt, then I'm going to say, okay, where does the forks go? Where do the forks go? And I'm giving them a little bit more of a little bit more than a verbal prompt, but I'm just pointing here. So then hopefully they're going to pick up that fork and they're going to put it down here. They may not need that, but if they do, it's okay to use that. And I'm going to do that for each of my pieces of silverware. And like I said, you can use whatever you have at home. This particular set came from the Dollar Tree. This is something we use in the classroom, but you can use it, anything you have at home you can use. So that's the way we do with the silverware. And this is a living skill, a life skill that they can hopefully remember to do this, and they can start helping at home. So there's that one. Now I know some of my kiddos have a simple goal of sorting colors. And so I'm just going to kind of show you what I use at school. So I just have these cheap little baskets here, and I just took a piece of construction paper, and you can that way you can change up your colors. And I have the color sorting bears here that I'm going to use. But all I would do is I would try it first to say, I have a green bear. Where does that green bear go? Okay, I'm going to hand them the green bear, and I'm going to attempt to partially assist them by just putting my elbow and say, where does that green bear go? And I'm going to hold that elbow, and I'm going to put that green bear in there. And I'm going to say, okay, the green bear goes in the green basket. And I'm not going to do all green at one time. I'm going to go, the green bear goes in the green basket, the yellow bear goes in the yellow basket. And I'm going to do that till I'm done. You don't want to overwhelm them with a ton of each color. 3 or 4 is fine. And again, your goal is to get them where I can say, okay, let's put the green in the green basket, and they're just going to pick that up and put it in there. But it's okay to start with hand over hand of putting it in, or just that light physical prompt where you touch that elbow and you pick it up, help them pick it up, and they put it in and you guide them over. It's okay to go from that and then to maybe just go for, okay, the green bear goes in the green basket, and they put it in there. That's part of backing off of prompts, and you want to start with the most prompts, which would be hand over hand if that's where your kiddo is at. Those two sorting activities are great, great, great to be doing at home. If you need any supplies, let me know. I'm limited in the classroom, but you can use stuff at home. You don't have to use bears. You can use crayons. You can use blocks. You can use anything that are two different colors. You really want to try to keep it with the same size object, even the same object if you can, just in different colors. But you can use pretty much anything that you have at home that are the same color. And you don't have to have baskets. You can use a bowl. You can use anything that's got some sides on it, just so they have some boundaries and some ways to just drop it in. So there's that one. And then this one, this is number matching, and it kind of is number identification as well. So all these are numbers that I printed out, and you can actually, don't have to have them printed. You could write them on a piece of paper. These are laminated. You don't have to laminate them. You can do it at home. It's really simple, but it's great for number identification. It's great for matching. So what I would do with this is, let's say I'm working on identifying the numbers 1 through 5. So I'm going to find the number 1, and this is going to be my card that I'm showing to the student. So I'm going to say 1, but in my little, it's kind of like doing, when you do the questions, you're going to lay out a couple of numbers. You're always going to leave out the number that you're using. So I'm going to show the number 1 to my kiddo, and I'm going to say, we're going to find the number 1. This is the number 1. So which one of these is the number 1? And for the most prompts, I'm going to say 1, 1, 4. Which one is the number 1? And it's okay if you need to take that hand and place it on the number when you're reading it off. So if they need to touch this, I'm going to say 1. Which one is the number 1? 1 and 4. And they're going to physically touch that just to kind of give them a better grasp of what they're looking at. So I'm going to say, which one is the number 1? 1, 1, 4. Which one is 1? And hopefully they're going to touch or try to pick up that number 1. If they don't, it's just a repetition. You just keep going over 1, 1. And like I said, it's a matching, but it's also number identification at the same time. And you're going to rotate those numbers out. Like if I'm looking for the number 5, I might have a 5 and a 4, and I'm going to show them that 5, and I'm going to say, okay, here's a 5. Which one is the number 5? Is it this one or this one? Or is it 5 or 4? I'm looking for the match to my number 5 here. And hopefully they're going to be able to eventually, not right away, but eventually they're going to be able to identify that number either by matching or just verbally. You know, we want them to either visually identify it or verbally identify it or just by touch. So anything that your kiddo is capable of doing, this is just a simple activity that you can do at home. If you have a goal on their IEP of number matching, this is excellent. Or if you just want to work on number identification, this is a great activity for that. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if you'd like to see more of these. Thanks, guys.